Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house, yet it did not fall, because it had its foundations on the rock. But everyone who hears these words of mine and does not put them into practice is like a foolish man who built his house on the sand. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house, and it fell with a great crash. This is a passage from the book of Matthew in which he quotes the words that Jesus spoke as he was preaching. The message is to follow God and Jesus, and you will live a good life with strong foundations, like a house built on rock. In the same way, if you do not listen to the word of God and follow Jesus, it would be like building a house on sand. These same ideals of building something on sand can be applied to many things. But today I will be focusing on the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact and how that was the beginnings of an intentional empire built on sand. For those of you who don't know, the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact was a non-aggression pact, which means that both nations sign a legal document saying they will not declare war on each other, between Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union, signed on the 23rd of August, 1939. Its official purpose was to divide up Poland between them once Germany had invaded. But both of these global superpowers had ulterior motives, and that is what made it an intentional empire built on sand. Before the Germans signed the pact, they had already begun their invasion of Poland, and they believed that this could anger the Soviets because they too believed that they were the rightful owners of Poland, and this could lead to the USSR invading Germany, which Germany didn't want to happen until much later. But the real reason that the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact had its foundations built on sand was because Germany had no intentions of staying true to that pact, but instead just wanted to buy them time to prepare and conquer the majority of Western Europe before taking on their end goal of conquering the Soviet Union, as they saw the communists as fascism's ideological blood enemy. But even with this plan, the Germans were still unable to beat the Soviets and suffered millions of casualties. In this case, it isn't so much of an empire, but a relationship that was built on sand. And I believe you can use this as a guide for how not to build relationships even now. If you ever try to start a relationship just to benefit yourself, then it will inevitably fall apart in front of you, much like a house built on sand. Thank you for listening.